All right. This is, I just want to say good morning to everyone. Good morning, everybody. I posted a short video earlier this morning just to say that I will be coming on and doing a live chat. Now, this is something I just want to do. Not something that I'm accustomed to doing. I think this is my second time actually doing live video, or third time, and I'm not really good at it. But considering the way things are today, and seeing all the troubles that's going on and the problems in the world, I think I just like to see if I can share something to maybe encourage somebody and maybe be a blessing to someone. So that's my purpose for being on here today, and I hope that somebody will be encouraged today by whatever it is that I say. I'm not sure what I will be saying, but I ask God to just help me to say something to encourage somebody. So here we go. I just want to say welcome to anyone who may be watching this, and whether live or recorded. I'll see that when I'm finished that it stays online for a little while. And so if you don't get to see it live as I'm doing it now, you may be able to see it later on. And so, just watching the news and seeing what's happening here and around the world, it seems like we are living in a very troublesome time indeed. And so many people are troubled and are afraid, they're scared, whether for the virus or for their economic situation or for crime or so many other maladies, so many things else to be concerned about. There's a lot of people that are concerned, and I would say rightly so, because things are not the way life is not the way it used to be. I mean, even just a year and a half ago, things was quite different. Life in this country and life in the world was different from what it is today. Today, I go outside and I see my neighbors that I normally talk to and normally shake hands with, and normally just even not only neighbors but family and friends, and that I run into, that we normally hug and shake hands and maybe kiss and just embrace each other. Now we stay far from each other. We are all covered up with masks and are afraid to touch each other. And that is something that is so different from what we are what we used to as human beings. We are social creatures, and we are used to being social. And the way it is now preventing us from being as social as the way we normally are, it puts a strain on some people. I can only imagine what it's like for young people or somebody who may be on the dating scene and maybe that can't go to the usual hangouts or behave normally to find someone to socialize with and link up with somebody else. So life anyway is different. But it seemed to me that there is hope. There's hope. There is hope. Amidst all this stuff that is going on, there is hope. And not only with the vaccine that that they have developed or are developing, there's hope, because from what I'm hearing, I don't know if it's correct, but this virus is mutating into different forms, and one vaccine may not take care of or may not be successful against different strains of viruses. So some viruses also may not respond to this vaccine. But anyway, life is, the world is, it's not all doom and gloom. There is hope. There is hope. Welcome, CC. Nice that you're watching. There is a hope, and the hope is in God and having a relationship with God. I find that many times Christianity takes a bad rap because of what people make it out to be. But basically Christianity is just a relationship. And relationship is important. And it's the most important thing, because relationship will determine how you behave, and even maybe what benefits you might receive, or what benefits you may give. Relationship is very important. And there's a verse that in the Bible that is my favorite, and it's taken from John 3:16. John 3, verse 16. And it says that God so loved the world. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth on him should not perish, but have everlasting life. God so loved the world that he gave, voluntarily gave. Nobody put a gun to his head and said, you have to do this because of love. He voluntarily gave his life so that whosoever believe in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Because God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. And so when we consider that Jesus was not forced, he was not forced to do what he did. He did it voluntarily because of love. Unconditional love. So true. And because of that love, it caused him to suffer, to be abused, to be tormented, so that we can be saved. So we can have life and have it abundantly. It's a good thing. It's a very good thing to have someone love us that much, to be willing to go through what he did. I don't know that I would promise anyone that I love them that much that I would be willing to do or go through what Jesus did, because pain has a way of working on your mind. And Jesus knew it was coming. He knew it was coming, because the night before he was in the garden and was praying, asking his father if there's another way. If there's another way, let it be, but if not, I'm willing to go through with it. He knew it was coming. And I'm sure he had seen crucifixion before. It was a common form of Roman punishment or retribution. So he knew it was coming. And yet, instead of running away and hide, or even try to defend himself, he says, I could have called 10,000 angels. But instead of defending himself, he knew that if he had, then we would not have access to life. So he was willing to go through the suffering, the pain, the embarrassment, and dying so that we can have life. See, this is because of love. All of that is because of that unconditional love. Unconditional love. And so love will cause us to do things that we don't normally do, or may accept, or things may be done to us, whether lack of love or lack of it thereof will determine a lot of what happens to us, how we treat others, and how others will treat us. So having a relationship with God through Jesus, having a relationship with God, a close relationship will determine how we respond to him and how he responds to us. Relationship. It's not a bunch of rules and regulations. It's not a bunch of thou shalt not, thou shalt this, thou shalt that, thou shalt the other. It's just the law of love. Love. Unconditional love. God so loved the world. That's us, you and I. God so loved us that he gave his only begotten Son to suffer, to be humiliated, to die for our sakes, because he loves us. I said nobody forced him to do it. Nobody could have forced him to do it. He voluntarily did it. Just like we volunteer to do things for each other that we love and care about. God voluntarily loved us, still loves us, was willing to pay the price. And so if he was willing to go through all of those sufferings, humiliation, torment, pain for us, the Bible says, while we were yet sinners, he died for us. He didn't die for us because we are good. None of us was good. He didn't die for us because of the good deeds that we have done, but because he loved us. He loved us simply that. He just loved us. And so he was willing to pay the price for us. And so it's important to get that thought solidified in your mind, because it is the basis of everything that God does for us. Love. Love. Not a bunch of thou shalt this, thou shalt that, thou shalt the other. We determine the thou shalt and thou shalt not. We make that decision based on our love for ourselves, for our God, and for each other. There are things that I will do for you or you will do for me that is based on our love for each other or relationship. It's a relationship thing. Now, if you want to call it Christianity or some other name, put some other label on it, doesn't matter. It's what you do, what's in your heart, and what you do, how you respond to God and his love. God so loved the world that he was not just willing to sit there and watch us die, but pay the price so that we can have life. And so with all this stuff that's going on in the world, many people are depending on man's solution. And yes, man can come up with some solutions. They have done it before, and no doubt can do it again. But in the meantime, while they are searching for solutions, many are dying hopelessly and needlessly too, because the God that created the heavens and the earth, He's able to save you and me. No virus is greater than God. No bacteria, no poison. As a matter of fact, I think it's Mark chapter 16. I'm going to find it and read it. In Mark's chapter 16, verse, let me read a few verses for you. In Mark, Mark 16 and 16. Mark chapter 16, verse 16 says, "He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, and he that believeth not shall be damned." Verse 17, "These signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. They shall take up serpents. And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover." That's, I just read John 16, verses 16 through 18. In my name, they that believe, they that develop a relationship with Jesus, they that believe in God, that develop a close relationship with Him, that put Him first place in their lives, in my name, these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name they shall cast out devils. Now we might say, the devil, Jesus cast out a lot of devils, and devils have a way of wanting to take up residence in human bodies. You can read the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We see where Jesus cast out a lot of devils. And wherever He cast out a devil from a person, that person has had numerous different kind of maladies, different kind of sickness and problems, because the body was not created for devils. It was created for our residence and for the Spirit of God. So the body was not created. Our bodies were not created for devils. So Jesus says, in my name, you will cast out devils. And many sickness today, the devils that Jesus cast out back then, 2,000 years ago, they still exist. They have not gone into oblivion. They still exist. They simply look for someone else to get into. And if they created problems in somebody else's body back then, what do you think they'll create in our bodies today? They're not going to, if we allow them in our bodies today, they're not going to come in and give you joy and peace. Rather, they'll create torment. They'll create all kind of sickness and disease and all kind of discomfort, eventual death. So Jesus says, in my name, you will cast out devils the same way He did. He did. Jesus did. Wherever He confronted them, He cast them out. He didn't reason with them and try to make a deal with them. He cast them out. And the people who He cast them out from, the people become normal. And so today, I do believe that many people, many problems that you see in people's lives today is because of devils in their lives. Demonic action in their bodies, in their lives, cause them mental problems and physical problems. And you can go to the doctor, you can go to a psychologist, psychiatrist, or kind of source, try to get help or remedy. But there are some remedies that medical society cannot deal with. They're not equipped. It takes the Spirit of God. And so if we don't have that relationship with Jesus, where he says, in my name, John 16, verse 17, in my name, these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, poison, it shall not hurt them. They shall lay hands on the sick, and they shall recover. Now, has God changed from then until now? Has he changed, or has he changed his relationship with us, or the way he deals with us? I don't think so. His love is no less for us now than he did then. He still loves us the same way. And if he gave the apostles and his followers power back then to deal with the devils of their day and the evils of their day, why wouldn't he give it to us now? Why wouldn't he allow us the same privilege now? Because those demons are still here. People are still being tormented one way or the other in so many different ways. Yeah, there's persecution that will take us as when we are committed to the ways of God. There is persecution, no doubt, that will take all of God's people, because Jesus says the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they persecuted him, they'll persecute us also, because we are his people. So there is a certain level of persecution that all of us who follow Christ and love him, a certain level of persecution that we all will deal with. There is no doubt about that. We can't escape it. As a matter of fact, even people who don't love God, sinners are persecuted. Sinners are not happy. It's not like if you live in sin, everything is cool, everything is all right, you have no problem. They have as much problem or more, because then they have no one else to call to. They have no dependence on God. They don't have a way out except through their own wits. Try to be clever and, find a way out through their own cleverness. But when you have a relationship with Jesus Christ, the one that created the heavens and the earth, and as Psalm, I think Psalm 121 says, I will look unto the hill from whence cometh my help. My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not suffer my foot to be moved. He that keepeth Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is my keeper. The Lord is my shade upon my right hand. The sun shall not smite me by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve me from all evil. Yes, there is a certain level of persecution that will take every child of God, one way or the other. How it comes, I don't know. None of us knows. But one thing we can be sure of, no matter how it comes, that we have help. We are never alone. God is always with us. Through the storm, through the night, he's always with us. When no one else is there, he is there. The song says, when nothing else could help, love lifted me. It's a good thing. As I said, relationship with God, being a friend of God, is not a bunch of thou shalt not do this, thou shalt do that, a bunch of commandments and rules and regulations. It's a relationship. It's a relationship. Just like I have a relationship with many of you watching. And if when we meet, we just hug and embrace and have a good time, enjoy each other. It's a relationship. If we run into someone that we don't know, we don't behave like that, because we don't know them. We don't have a relationship with them. But because we have a relationship with each other, when we see each other, we behave in a manner that indicates our relationship. And it's the same way with God, because he made us in his own image, after his own likeness. We behave like him when we have his spirit. When we have his spirit, we behave like him. We have the mind of Christ, and we behave like Christ. And so it's one thing when a person claims to be a child of God, but then act like the devil. I mean, it doesn't match. Something doesn't fit there. You claim that you're a son or a child, a daughter of God, and then your life, your behavior doesn't match, doesn't line up with the ways of God. Do you have the same DNA as Jesus? I mean, I think the disciples were first called Christians in Antioch because they acted like Christ. Do we act like Jesus? We have to ask ourselves, do I act like him? Do I think like him? Do I behave like him? Is he my God? Do I have a relationship with him? It's a serious question for us to ask, because particularly in these times where there's so much things to be afraid, so much reason to be afraid, it's important to have someone that you know that you can trust in, that you know you have a relationship with, that you know you can depend on. I mean, the Bible says when your mother and father forsake you, then the Lord will take you up. No matter how close you are with someone, another person here, you have no guarantee that they'll be here for you tomorrow. Or even if they're here, if they can help you or not. I have lots of people that I'm close to, that I love. And some of you that are watching right now, I'm madly in love with you. I deeply love you and care for you. But if I have a problem now, you can't help me because you're far away and you may not have the resources to help me in the way I need it. But there is a God. There is a God that can help you no matter what your situation is, no matter what your need is. It's never greater than God's ability. It's never out of his realm of being able to help you. We all need to have that kind of friendship. Particularly in this time where the world is in so much trouble. People are so troubled. People are so worried. I look at the news and I see people are lining up overnight, trying to get this vaccine. I said, boy, these people are really frightened. If they would spend half of that time and say, Lord, I want to get to know you. Jesus, I want to get to know you. I want to be your friend. They tell me that you died for me, that you love me so much that you were willing to die for me. I want to get to know you. Help me. Help me to come to know you. And one song aptly puts it, what a friend we have in Jesus. All our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege we have to carry everything to God in prayer. When we have that relationship with Jesus, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. My sister Danita, if you were available where I could call on you for all my needs, then I probably wouldn't need Jesus. My family, Dorcas, if you were available where I could call on you for all my needs, then I would need Jesus. But you're not available, and I'm not available for you. You're not available for me, and I'm not available for you, not because we don't want to, but because we're not able to. But Jesus is. He's available. No matter how many storms that is blowing in our lives, he's able to keep us from falling. He's able to keep us. He's able. So it's a good thing to have that relationship with God. Have that relationship with him. Please, pray of you. Develop that relationship with God. It's not a difficult thing. It's not a difficult thing. I mean, the enemy would like for many people to think that it's such a difficult thing. I can't afford it. I can't do it. Maybe I got too many other things to deal with. I can't deal with that now. But Jesus is a friend in need, and he's a friend indeed. He's a friend that you can trust in. He's a friend that you can depend on, no matter what the condition, no matter who else cannot help. Because as I said, no, sometimes there are family and friends that would like to help, but they just can't. But Jesus can always help, no matter what the case may be. So be encouraged that you have available such a friendship. That friendship is available. And in order to develop that friendship and relationship, it's important to spend time with them. The same way, if we want to get to know each other, we have to spend time with each other. Get to know each other. Get to know Jesus. Spend time with him in reading his word. Reading his word. The Bible is his word. And if you read what he says in his word, then you will hear what he has to say. And again, he looks at your heart. Even in reading, if you're reading the Bible just to criticize, you'll get a different interpretation. You get a different understanding. But if you read with a heart, with a mind, to say, well, Lord, I want to hear what you have to say. Please guide me. Please guide me and help me to have interest in your word. Because right now I may not, reading the Bible may seem boring to me, but help me to have interest in your word, and help me to understand it and to hear, to get out of it what you're saying to me. Approach it with that attitude, and I'm sure he'll help you and develop your relationship with him. And so that no matter what the situation, and there are times when things might come on you, you may not even have time to do any long prayer. All you have to say, Jesus. There's some things sometimes where some things comes upon you suddenly. You don't have time for any elaborate prayer. All you got to do is Jesus, and he's right there. It's right there. So my family and friends, my brothers and sisters, listen, know that this is real. This is real, and in such a troubled time, it's a good thing to have a friend in Jesus. It's a good thing. He's available. He paid the price. He paid the price. And he doesn't love you as any less now than he did back then when he paid the price. He loves us. He cares for us. So be encouraged and know that he's available and he cares, and he will always be there. No matter what other people say, no matter what the news say, no matter what the world says, he cares, and he's always there. God bless you. God bless you. Ephesians 6 verse 10 says, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. It's not a bunch of fancy speech. It's a relationship. Develop a relationship with God. Love him and let him know you love him. And you will experience his grace, his favor, even more than you do now. Because we all are experiencing his favor. But there's always more. God bless you. Love you all. Have a blessed day.